Hi, this is Eddie with A Mindful Emergence, and this video is designed for those of you who really want to understand what mindfulness is and what mindfulness isn't. Margaret Kirshner and I are A Mindful Emergence, where we offer mindfulness, movement, and breathing practices for those who want to get unstuck in their life and experience spiritual transformation. So, about mindfulness. There's a lot of talk about it. You hear it everywhere you go. There's a term called mindfulness, which is where some of us sort of kind of make fun of a lot of the mistaken notions. I was at a conference about 3 weeks ago where I was presenting, and I happened to be in someone else's breakout session. And there was a woman who said that mindfulness was replacing negative thoughts with positive thoughts. And I kind of took a breath and I thought, well, not really, but I, of course, don't say anything. But, this is what's happening. And everywhere you turn, there's a new mindfulness expert. Everybody is a mindfulness coach, a mindfulness teacher. There are courses to become certified for that. And I'm not saying that these aren't helpful or those who are wanting to teach mindfulness aren't well intentioned or in some ways providing valuable resources. But I really want to drill down today a little deeper. And I will tell you, full disclosure, where I'm coming from is out of the Buddhist tradition. I've been a practicing Buddhist now for 40 years, and I've had the opportunity to study with a lot of teachers and really get to understand what this is. So, one definition that I've always liked for mindfulness is intentionally bringing awareness to present moment experience, moment to moment, with curiosity and kindness. So let's unpack this a little bit. Intentionally bringing awareness to present moment experience. Mindfulness is not just noticing what's happening. A cocker spaniel notices what's happening, but is there any real consciousness there? There's an intentionality about how to go about this. Intentionally noticing present moment experiences and noticing it moment to moment because it constantly changes. As I'm doing this video, I have the sliding door open and I can hear a bird out there. Maybe you can hear it in the background. Well, that sound is continually changing. What I notice this moment will change in this moment, and this moment, and this moment. And it's same is true not just for sounds, but for sensations in the body, thoughts, any sensory experience is continually changing. So noticing how that shifts and changes. And doing it with curiosity and kindness, really opening our awareness to what's really happening here. We're going to talk more about that. And with kindness, as much as possible, doing it without a judgmental mind. And this is particularly important when we notice mental proliferations. If we sit down to meditate, we put our attention on our breath, which is a common approach to doing meditation. What happens when we follow the breath with our attention? Our thoughts arise and pull us away. So we're watching the breath, breathing in, breathing out, and then suddenly, what am I going to have for lunch? Or what about that email? Or why doesn't that dog stop barking? And it's very easy to judge those thoughts and to judge ourselves about having those thoughts, or judge ourselves because we're a lousy meditator or we just can't do this. So it's so much more helpful to sort of lean in and inquire with a gentleness and a kindness about what's actually happening. So, if you want to really understand mindfulness, I suggest that, from at least from a Buddhist standpoint, if you really want to get into it, explore the four foundations of mindfulness, which is a fundamental core teaching of the Buddha. And there's no better place to do that than this book, Mindfulness by Joseph Goldstein, A Practical Guide to Awakening. This is a great book. It really goes in depth, and Joseph is a brilliant American Buddhist teacher. And if you want to take it a little further, you actually get a book like this called Satipatthana, The Direct Path of Realization. Satipatthana, easy for me to say, is the four foundations of mindfulness. Satipatthana Sutra was the teaching given by the Buddha on that. And this is a really great book. So I'm going to read a little bit about mindfulness. So mindfulness, in addition to being covered in the four foundations of mindfulness, was part of the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path was the Four Noble Truths, and it was essentially the pathway that the Buddha laid out as a way to end suffering. And mindfulness is one of the eight factors. They're called right, like right this, right that, right speech, and so on, right concentration, right effort, right wisdom. And this is right mindfulness, and it's one of the mental disciplines. And this is what is said. Right mindfulness is, and forgive me for reading, but right mindfulness is to be diligently aware, mindful, and attentive with regard to one, activities of the body, two, sensations of feelings, three, activities of the mind, and four, ideas, thoughts, conceptions, and things. These are the four foundations of mindfulness. And with regard to sensations and feelings, for example, one, one should be clearly aware of all the forms of feeling and sensations, pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral, of how they appear and disappear within oneself. Concerning the activities of mind, one should be aware of whether one's mind is lustful or not, given to hatred or not, deluded or not, distracted or concentrated, and so on. So they go into this. So it's really an exploration of how the mind works and how we relate to our experience. It's not trying to get somewhere else. Mindfulness is being sold and marketed as a way to change our experience and get somewhere else. And if there's one thing that I want to emphasize more than anything else as a yoga and meditation teacher is that these practices are most helpful for learning to deal with what is happening now rather than trying to change our experience. And when we are able to really notice what's happening now, we can really work with our experience in a in a skillful way. And there are many practices that we can use to do that. So I just wanted to take a little time and talk about that. So, if you want to have a different belief system about mindfulness, that's fine. I'm not an expert, okay? But I have been trained and I have studied mindfulness that comes out of the Buddhist perspective. And I just want to encourage you to look at it as not trying to get somewhere else. I had a teacher say that Buddhism or mindfulness is being taught now as a way of becoming something else other than the way it is. And that's not what it's really about. Okay. So anyway, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you want to get notified when these videos come out, usually do 2 a week. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and of course, we love your comments. So appreciate you watching this video, and we'll talk to you next time.